If you are an accomplished entrepreneur and you want to lose belly fat and get rid of all the fat on your stomach or the gut or love handles and get really lean, this video is for you. I'm Coach Amir. For the last 17 years, I've been a professional fitness coach. I've helped transform over 1,200 clients, many of whom got to actually rip six-pack abs simply because that was their goal. Some of my clients did not get to six-pack abs lean simply because that was not their goal. So it doesn't really matter whether you want to get completely shredded and have six-pack abs, like really lean six-pack abs, or you just want to get lean, flat stomach, where, as one of my clients said, when I look down, I want to see my feet instead of actually seeing this big gut sticking out. Anywhere you are on that spectrum, from wanting to be six-pack lean to just having a firm, lean, flat stomach, this three-step process that I'm going to share with you is the exact same. The only difference between them is the length of time that you need to be on a diet. If you want to get really, really lean, get down to 12% body fat as a man, that's where you start to get six-pack abs, be visible, then the diet's going to last a little bit longer, maybe a month or two longer, maybe three, I don't know, because I don't know where you're starting, but generally speaking, the process is the same. So let's go straight into it. Step number one, the most important step, where most people think that if they want to have six-pack abs or lose the belly fat, they just need to do 1,000 crunches a day. This is absolutely not true. You don't need to do crunches or any ab exercises whatsoever because they will not burn body fat at all. The only way to actually lose body fat is what nobody wants to hear, but is the ultimate truth, which is you need to be in a caloric deficit. Because caloric deficit is what burns body fat in general, and also belly fat included. There's nothing really special about belly fat. Yeah, it can be a little bit more stubborn than other body parts, but really you just need to be in a caloric deficit for long enough, and then you will lose body fat from everywhere, including your belly fat. Now, the best way to be in a caloric deficit without being hungry or starving is to not cut out carbs, not cut out complete food groups, not cut your calories too much, and definitely not starve yourself, which are all the things that basically fad diets do. They really want you to starve. They just cut all your calories, cut out complete food groups. None of that is necessary. Not only that you don't need to do that, it's actually much better if you don't, because if you do any of those, your diet's going to be unsustainable, and therefore, any weight that you lose, the moment you stop the diet, you're going to gain it all back. So then what's the point? We don't want to be doing that. What you want to do instead is my process, which I have found to be really the simplest, easiest way to make this reality when I work with my clients and make it in a sustainable way so they actually enjoy the diet. So let's look at it this way. Most people in this world, and this is very, very likely including you, have about 15 to 20 total foods that you really like eating, or that comprise majority of what you eat to begin with. So let's say if you have 3 meals a day, and then you have 7 days a week, that's about 20-ish meals, right? So let's round it up to 20 meals. Some people eat twice a day, so then it's 14 meals, right? But let's say between 15 and 20 meals a week. That's all we need to really control in order to get you to be in a deficit, lose body fat, and get really lean. Now, here's how to simplify this process. Of course, your question is, okay, I get that, but what do I actually eat? Now, of course, you know that you need to be in a caloric deficit. We already said that. How many calories should you be eating? I covered that in another video. I'm going to link it right here. But basically, if we really simplify it fully, 10 times your weight in pounds. That's how many calories you should be eating. If you weigh 200 pounds, times 10, you eat 2,000 calories to lose weight. If you weigh 150 pounds, times 10, you eat 1,500 calories to lose weight, okay? So that's where you start with calories. By far the best way to control them is to actually track your food, see what the app, any of the free food tracking apps says, okay, you ate this many, and then you try to figure out within that, how can you eat enough protein, okay? How can you control your carbs and fats so they actually meet that number of total calories at the end of the day? But let's simplify this even further. Let's say the easiest way to stay in caloric deficit without starving, cutting out your favorite foods, and actually being sustainable so you enjoy the diet is the following. Remember, there are 3 major food groups that we were as humans built to thrive and survive on. Number 1 are your meats. This is your protein sources. Okay, this is by far the most important macronutrient of them all. If you don't have enough of that, nothing else works. If you have enough of protein, everything else works way easier and way better. How much protein should you have? 0.8 grams of protein times your weight. That's it. Okay, so if you weigh 200 pounds, go 0.8 times 200, 160 grams. That's how many protein you should have, how many grams of protein you should have per day. Let's say you weigh 150 pounds, you go 0.8 times 150, whatever that is, that's your number. That's how many grams of protein you should eat per day, okay? But let's stick to protein as a food group, and this could be meats, lean meats, fattier meats, this can be dairy, this can be fish. All of these are your protein group. That's the number one. The second one is vegetables, the third one, fruit. So this is your main food groups that we were literally supposed to live on forever. And the more of these you have, the better you'll do. And now we'll add another one, which is, or actually we can add two. One of them is going to be your starches. This is your potatoes, rice, some bread, all things that are basically in the starch category. And then you have the fifth one, which we're going to call YOLO foods or free foods. Basically, you only live once. This could be your fun foods. Like you can, put ice cream there, pizza, whatever it is that you really, really like. You can put that in the fifth category, okay? Now, here's how you organize your diet from these. Let's assume, like most people have 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You can have some snacks, whatever, it can be protein shake, protein bar, doesn't matter. But let's say you have 3 main meals that we really focus on. 2 of your 3 meals a day should be from the first 3 categories. You combine 1 protein, 1 veggie, and maybe 1 fruit. 2 meals out of 3 every day should be that. Combine anything you want from these. And then 1 meal out of the 3 per day can be your protein, which you should have with absolutely every meal, even snacks, and then you can combine that with one of the starches. So let's say you want to lose weight really fast. All you would do is stick to that schedule. 2 out of your 3 meals would come from combining the 3, and then 1 out of the 3 meals will be combining protein and one of the starches. That's it. Just stick with that. But let's say you said, I want to have a little bit of fun, so I want to include something in the 5th group. This is actually what I do suggest, because this is the way to make it sustainable. So you actually enjoy your diet, are not deprived. You're not like dreaming of having a pancake and you can't have it. It's absolutely unsustainable. So what I would suggest is about 10% of your meals. Yes, it can be a little bit more, a little bit less. It doesn't really matter. No, nothing's going to happen if you have, 1 extra meal per week that is out of this YOLO category. It doesn't really matter much. But generally speaking, 10, maybe up to 20% of your total meals can come from the YOLO group, okay, the fun food group. So what does this mean? So let's say, roughly speaking, if you have 3 meals a day, or let's say you have 20 meals a week, 10% or 2 meals a week can be from the fun foods group. Have anything you want twice a week. Yes, if you're more active, so let's say you work out 2 to 3 times a week, and let's say you're doing more steps, 8 to 10,000 steps, maybe you can have up to 4 meals a week that are out of the fun food group category. So this is the way to actually make your diet really, really, really good and healthy and get all the benefits from losing body fat, getting really lean, looking great, having tons of energy, but still enjoying your life. That's step number 1, your diet. Number 2 is exercise. Now you should start lifting weights or doing resistance training. If you're not already doing that, exercise is the only way to actually improve your health and lose some belly fat without overall weight loss. So you can even, keep the same weight, maybe keep the whole amount of body fat the same, but the visceral fat is going to actually be burned off a little with exercise, which is really, really good. Within that, you have resistance training and cardio. Both are really healthy for you, really good for you. Resistance training builds muscle, speeds up your metabolism, gives you stronger immune system, you live longer. Cardio gives you good VO2 max, which allows you to have a higher level of health for your cardiovascular system and to live longer. However, if I was to choose between one of these two, if you said, okay, coach, I only can do one, I would say lift weights, because they will build muscle, they'll give you benefits, and that's not to say cardio is bad. Cardio is excellent for you. But I realize that not everybody will do both. Most people love the gym, most people who exercise love the gym but hate cardio. Or those who love cardio, they hate the gym. Right? So it doesn't really matter. As long as you're exercising, you're getting the benefit. A couple of benefits from lifting weights. You're going to keep your muscle while dieting. So when you are in a caloric deficit, you have a chance of losing muscle. It's not a good idea. Your metabolism slows down, your immune system goes down, you look worse, etc., etc. We don't want to be looking, skinny fat. So you build muscle, or at least preserve the muscle you have with resistance training and enough protein, which we already said how much you need to have for that. Cardio, on the other hand, is completely unnecessary to lose belly fat. So most people think if I want to lose weight, I got to run 5 miles every day. That's not true at all. You don't need to do cardio at all. Most of my clients don't do cardio at all for the purposes of losing weight and body fat. They don't do that. Later on, I convinced them that cardio is so good that they start doing it for health, but you can be absolutely shredded, get six-pack lean, and never do a minute of cardio. Absolutely. How? By being a caloric deficit, following step 1, losing body fat as long as it's needed until you get to 12% body fat or 11, where you actually get six-pack abs to show up. And number 2, you lift weights to build muscle. That's how you look really, really, really good. So you need to include exercise. 2 to 3 workouts per week are more than enough. If you're doing full body workouts, twice a week, that's more than enough for most people. As you become more advanced later, you can add 3rd workout a week or 4th, whatever it is. But that's step number 2. Step number 3, as I said, is not cardio, it's not some magical supplement, it's actually sleep. Sleep is so crucial and so important that yesterday, a new client that enrolled in my Guaranteed Ripped coaching program. By the way, if you want to get completely shredded and be coached one-on-one by me, by enjoying all the foods that you want, exercising, spending minimal time in the gym, really enjoying your life and all the foods and festivities and everything else, and still get shredded, by far the best way to do that is Guaranteed Ripped coaching. I call it Guaranteed Ripped simply because it's absolutely guaranteed, because in the last 17 years I've had 1,200 transformations. I've never had a refund before, and I give absolute 100% money back guarantee to everything that I do, simply because if you're not getting results, you shouldn't be paying me. I don't deserve your money, and I've never had a refund in 17 years in business. If you want to get shredded by being coached by me one-on-one, go check out the link right below this video. It's going to show you A to Z, the whole process of how I do that. If it makes sense, book a call to speak with me or somebody on my team. And a couple of months from now, you'll be in by far the best shape of your life, guaranteed. Now, as I said, the 3rd step is sleep. Why? Because studies have shown that people who normally sleep 7 to 8 hours a day habitually start sleeping 6 hours a day. They start eating, their hunger goes up and appetite goes through the roof. So they eat 20% more when they are eating ad libitum, which means just eating at will as much as they want. They eat 20% more when they don't sleep enough. Guess what the difference in calorie intake between a normal weight person and an overweight person is per day? 10% per day. So if you're now normal weight, start eating 10% more per day, very soon you're going to be overweight. Start eating 20% more per day, very soon you're going to be obese. The difference in calorie intake between a regular weight person and an obese person is 20% per day. Gets you to eat 20% more, not enough sleep. Also, we now know that if you sleep 4 to 5 hours a day, there's studies showing that sleeping 4 to 5 hours per day actually causes more muscle loss when on a diet compared to somebody sleeping normally on the same diet. So your hunger goes up, your appetite goes up, your energy goes down, you feel worse, and you lose more muscle if you don't sleep enough. This is the reason that sleep is absolutely crucial. I tell my clients, unless we fix your sleep, nothing else matters. It's not going to work. You're not going to keep it off, even if you lose weight, simply because you're going to be starved, tired, and exhausted, and then you're going to binge eat, and you're diet your way back to whatever weight and body fat percentage you started with. So please remember, keep yourself in a deficit, lift weights, and focus on your sleep. These are the 3 ways to lose belly fat once and for all. One last thing, actually, belly fat that you see is actually not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the visceral fat, which is deep inside of your stomach, between your organs, inside of your core, that you can't see. That's actually the biggest health risks come from that, simply because the fat is so close to your heart. It actually raises your risks of cardiovascular diseases, specifically heart attacks, multifold. And this is actually the reason, because men genetically, we tend to store most of our body fat in the stomach area. Women tend to store it in the lower part of the body, the thighs. And this is one of the many reasons why men have 4 to 10 times higher chance of getting heart attacks, simply because we store most of the fat here close to our heart, and that's a higher health risk. That's why men die a lot more often from heart attacks than women do. So one of the healthiest things you can do is lose visceral fat and lose belly fat. And the good news is, as you're losing overall body fat from being in a deficit, you're also going to lose belly fat. There's nothing special about it. As I said, it may actually you know, a lot of my clients say, well, why is it so hard to lose belly fat? The issue is, it's simply because we have a lot of that body fat stored there. For example, we have the least body fat stored in the face. So as you start losing weight, you're going to see it here, you know, first. You're going to have a lot less body fat in your face, relatively speaking, compared to, let's say, your stomach. Right, so that's why it takes a lot longer, simply because you are losing body fat from everywhere at somewhat the same rate, which means where you have it the least, like your face, you're going to see it really soon. Where you have it the most, like your body, you know, stomach and gut area, that's when you're going to see it the last. So guys, please follow these 3 steps. You're absolutely guaranteed to lose belly fat. And if you want to have your do-it-yourself program, so you know exactly how to do this, go check out rippedceo.com. It's the best program that exists on the market. I absolutely guarantee it. I put together this program after 17 years of doing this. I live and breathe this. This is the only thing I've ever done, and I really love it. And it's all in this program. So if you really say, hey, I'm totally a motivated person, I'm going to do it on my own, this is the way to do that. Or if you want, so just go to rippedceo.com, or if you want to be, actually join the Guaranteed Ripped Coaching, which is absolute guaranteed results with 100% money back guarantee, and in the next few months get in the top shape, best shape that you've ever been, guaranteed. Go check out the link below this video, see how it works, book a call, talk to me or somebody on my team. We'll get you shredded in the next couple of months. That's a guarantee. Thank you guys for watching this video. See you next time.